I had a very successful event in Singapore. I was there for 10 days. A lot of you showed your affection on me wherever I went, whether it was the streets of Singapore, whether it was at the restaurants, the malls, and more particularly at the events. I wish to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. My team felt that I had never done a full fledged event in Abu Dhabi, and they wanted me to do so because we have a lot of friends there. So the next event would be in Abu Dhabi on the 5th of October. Those desirous of participating in that event, drop a message at the WhatsApp number given below or send a mail at the email given. My team will get in touch with you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Today I wanted to talk about something we should all be aware of. I know a lot of you would have seen the thumbnail and got into the video thinking I'm going to be talking about PSU stocks, especially PSU banks. But yes, I am going to be talking about PSU stocks and PSU banks, but I'm not going to be talking about what you think I'm going to be talking about related to these banks. I'm not here to tell you why you should buy these banks or why you should not buy these banks. I'm here to give you a little bit of insight on taking advice and why. Even taking advice from people, from anybody, even Warren Buffett, you should take it with a bag of salt. The case in point is this famous tweet from Vinod Srinivasan has been going the rounds on Twitter. Now the tweet has been deleted. I don't want to get into the politics of it. It was based on a fact that someone who has believed to be, who has a great insight into public sector banks, actually the guy who's running the government. Public sector banks are of course run by the government. It's owned by the government. And the guy who has the head job of the government came out saying he sees great future for these banks and that as a Indian, you should be proud that we're going to be climbing great heights because we're going to be investing and growing on infrastructure, and all of this is going to be done through our PSU banks. And these banks are going to see fabulous returns, and this is going to be reflecting in the stock market. So those of you who want to take a great opportunity must look at PSU banks as an option to invest into. And based on that advice, an investor like you and me said, why should I listen to social media influencers? Why should I listen to anybody else? This guy is the guy who has the greatest influence on these banks. And he himself is saying that I'm going to use all my influence and make sure these banks are going to be stellar. So based on that just advice, he went ahead and took Sehwag's friend took quite a bit of his capital, which he had gained from a sale of property, and invested in 3 of those 4 banks, which was spoken about. And lo and behold, these stocks are down 25-30%. And for him to recoup this loss which he suffered, he has to hope that these banks rebound and grow by a fabulous amount. Like what Anand says, if something is down by 50%, remember that it has to grow by 100% to come back to the levels where it was. And to see anything as returns, it has to grow even more than 100% for you to see profit. So you can understand the context in what we were talking about. So the point is here, I'm not trying to disparage any political party or trying to put down the bank, or it's just that we have a tendency right now in society where we're constantly looking for ways out and easy ways and to find a shortcut into a problem which we have. It is a human nature. If an opportunity comes to do something with less effort, with the easier way, of course it makes sense taking it. For example, if you're driving somewhere, someone says this way is shorter, of course you want to take it because you save time and you save fuel and you get there sooner. So that tendency is there innate in human beings that we want to take shortcuts, and we believe that if someone comes and just gives us an easy out, that we should grab it and make money of it. And there's always hindsight biases there. We hear about stories about guys who took these kinds of advice and who have made multi-million dollars in this investment. What we fail to hear and see in the media, which is not portrayed so much, and even in social media, is all the people have lost money, because those kind of stories don't get pushed, don't get promoted, because no one wants to read an uninspiring story of failure. No one reads stories of Shackleton. Yes, Shackleton was a guy who tried to go to Antarctica and many times and he failed. And you should really read into that story, because a lot can be learned from failures. And the most important lesson in failure is to find out why the failure happened. And in the case in point here is, even if a CEO or the guy owning the business comes out and says things are going to be great, things are going to be amazing, you just can't buy it, and you should not buy it. So that is the case in point here. We see this happening all the time. CEOs change, then the stock goes up. Like Nike. The Nike CEO changed and the stock immediately went up by 9% because that's what the analysts wanted. and the board of Nike has given what analysts want. There's a lot of analysis to it. But what, as in value investors, you should always pay attention to is the bottom line. Is the value coming through the business? Is there fundamentally something sound that has happened in the business? When a leader announces something and says, business leader or whatever leader who's running the organization comes out and says something, then you have to see, do they follow through in it? You get onto annual report calls like in NATCO or any company, and you hear the leader of the company saying, this year we plan to do XYZ. We did this last year and we're planning to do this. So when they say that, you should immediately see, okay, what did they say last year? How much of it did they follow through on? How much of it did it actually come into fruition and add to the value to the bottom line? And what are they saying this year? Are you seeing these things actually coming and unfolding? Are they taking steps towards it? So that is important as an investor to see, because that is where the actual realization of dreams are. You may have dreams, but are you doing the work? All of us have aspirations. Guys who are running these companies, running these banks or whatever PSUs, do they have the freedom to achieve these goals? And the problem, case in point, is PSUs is that. It's not because of the government, the current government. This is true in any government. Because the problem is the motivations behind the people running these institutions are very different from the motivations which you expect from someone who's running a business. Because they have other priorities. And rightfully so. They have nation building, they have politics, they have elections, they have people they have to answer to. So, whichever way you look at it, the leaders within these PSU sectors and the politics behind it, it is not for the value add of investors, and it's not for looking out for you or me when we put our capital in it, for our capital appreciation. And yes, the general argument is PSUs are safe because, the country is not going anywhere. That's true. But at the same time, you want your money to grow, at least to beat inflation, let alone, looking for profit. So my advice to you would be this: do your own work. I know it's boring. I know it's painful. It can be tedious, but the rewards are far better and more reliable than looking at a tweet, whomsoever it is, or investing this purely based on your own belief system. That you are better off and better served by actually doing hardcore analysis and seeing where are the numbers and seeing if there actually growth there and is it reliable, whomsoever is leading this organization. Yes, I'm sure Rupesh has put up the tweets on either side of me to show you what I was talking about. And I do feel for Sehwag's friend who had invested quite a bit of his capital into these banks and who's now sitting and hoping and praying that things turn around. And eventually they may turn around, and improve. And he may come back to the position he was in and maybe able to recover. But it is hard to watch, 80 lakhs turn into 40, 50 lakhs and then sit there for some time and waiting and watching. All of us have been there and we all feel this. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Keep in mind when you're investing, when you have so-called reliable sources giving you tips or giving you advice, it's great that you have reliable sources giving you tips and advice, including me, my brother, or anybody. But do check and verify these things, because without verification and checking, you'd be walking in blind and you do not know when you're falling off a cliff till it's too late. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. It sounded like a bit of a lecture, but it's not. I want you guys to understand what it is to invest and being a value investor and having the mindset and what it is to be successful. Thank you for watching the video. Do like and share this video. Do comment and send it to people who might find this video informative and relevant. And I'll see you in the next one soon. Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Be Rich. Before we get into the video, I wanted to bring to your notice that my uncles Vinod Srinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it. And we've analyzed macroeconomic trends, and a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu, and these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it, and please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.